The truth is, I don't even like running. I mean, y'all know that anyway, but I love the feeling of pushing myself and giving my training a real purpose. That's why I like to do things like Spartan races. They are the perfect tests of all-around athleticism. They have 5K, 10Ks, even halves and ultras, but with obstacles along the way, even throwing spears. Cardio meets strength and purpose. Try it out. Use code SpartanDad, and you can get 25% off any Spartan race. It'd be fun. Let me know you're doing it. I'll go try and do one with you. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time. Use code SpartanDad for 25% off a race. Have fun plans for the outdoors? Make the memories last with the best outdoor coolers and drinkware. Celebrating 10 years of cool, Orca was founded in 2012, born from the idea of making a hard-sided cooler that beat out all the rest. Orca coolers are built to be as strong as the adventures you take them on. That's why they have a lifetime warranty while giving you world-class maximum temperature retention. Orca's drinkware offers the same high quality, keeping your drinks icy cold or hot for hours, and they look great while doing it. Their stainless steel, vacuum-sealed tumblers and martini cup are perfect companions for your next outdoor adventure. Go to orcacoolers.com/bourbon for 15% off your order. That's orcacoolers.com/bourbon for 15% off. Orca, make it last. Today's show is also sponsored by our friends at distilleryproducts.com. If you are a store, you're a group, you're a blog, you're a podcast, you're a distillery, whatever it is, you need laser edge glassware at wholesale prices. Reach out to me. I'd be happy to get you in touch with the whole family behind distilleryproducts.com doing amazing things. We use them. You should too at distilleryproducts.com. All right, Zeke, disclaimer. You've been very busy. You've been away. So we are getting this out tomorrow, unedited. You know the drill. Go.
So, the other evening I was out with some, friends and whatnot. And then there was a couple of females in town out with us as well. And one of them happened to be a bourbon enthusiast, and kind of how we all ended up linked up, out and whatnot. Well, so then the following morning rolls around, and the female that was the bourbon enthusiast is, over in the other bed at the hotel.
The Holiday Inn?
I
like making you uncomfortable right now, but continue and speed up a little bit.
It was actually the Joseph thank you, which is apparently really nice. I didn't know it'll walk out, but okay.
Great hotel.
Yeah, I was impressed. So she's like listing off people that, are all in Nashville, like bourbon folks, and who she does and doesn't know and whatnot, and goes through a few sets of names. And then all of a sudden she goes, oh yeah, those two guys that do the Dad's Drinking Bourbon podcast are in Nashville. And I just started busting out laughing in the other bed. And I'm like, you got one half of it right here. Oh, well.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards, one half of the Dad's Drinking Bourbon podcast. Zeke is the one out there being a celebrity, and together we make the Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making us a part of your day. Two things I want to say to you real quick. Number one, I said, I'm not editing, and the first thing you did was take a 10-second pause between go and when you started your story. So tighten it up, Baker. Second thing I have to say to you is tell the whole story, because you told him to go look up on your Instagram. And you're like, I'm in there somewhere. Edwards does all the work, but I'm in there somewhere.
They were like, really? Yes, you? I'm like, well, it's half in theory, but admittedly, I do very little to no work other than talking. So you can go look up Instagram. You might have to do a few thumb scrolls to find my dumb ass in there. But I promise I am the one half, quote unquote, of a DDB. Thanks.
Now, to be fair, I would put you on there more if you gave me pictures to put on there. There's only so many times I can go into the well of your old Facebook pictures and post you in a cowboy hat. So I need some other pictures. So this is a call. If you are in the Nashville area, if you're in Kentucky this month, because we're going to be going up to Kentucky for Kentucky Bourbon Festival, if you see Zeke Baker, take a picture of him, send it to me. I would like to put it on our social media. I can't get Zeke to post pictures on his own. So maybe some of you could send me pictures of Zeke, and I'll use them so that when he meets other women, it's very easy for them to see that he is half of Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Does that sound like a good plan?
I don't think I don't know if I like where this is going, but
So everybody, please, my email is dadsdrinkingbourbon@gmail.com. You can reach us on socials, on Instagram. Obviously, we are on Get Picks now. You should be on Get Picks too. We are starting to put our tastings on there a couple weeks after we do a show. It's a community by drinkers, for drinkers. We're building that out. I told you I've been sitting there having tons of meetings with them, trying to build out Picks app and make it better, make the post better. The tastings have a bunch of information that can link you up to other people based off of their tastes. It's going to be really cool. We've only begun to unlock the potential there, but find us on Get Picks. You can't send me a message on Get Picks, but you can interact with us on there. But then I'll post pictures of Zeke on Get Picks as well. So, like, I will post Zeke everywhere if you give me pictures of Zeke.
Oof, scary times.
I mean, scary times call for scary measures because I can't get a picture from you. It's been 6 years I can't get pictures from you.
I lay low.
I am now making a call to the masses. I want pictures of Zeke doing some whiskey shit. So, like, you see him with a bottle in his hand, you see him with a glass in his hand, send it to me. I'm going to use it. All you got to do is put a drink in his hand.
Dear God.
So how are you? You just had a weekend in Georgia. You're back. The dogs just completely destroyed Oregon.
Man, I I don't like counting chickens before they hatch, so it's hard to tell over the course of the season. You know, obviously who's going to be healthy. Every week's different, but if Oregon does hold up to, you know, being a strongly ranked team at the end of the year, that win's going to definitely mean a lot throughout the season, hopefully.
It absolutely will. It is a very short show today. I don't think we have a lot of banter. I think you're tired. You were up all weekend. We're getting right to brass tacks unless there's anything. I mean, you were up all weekend. You apparently were up at the Joseph Hotel when you got back. I don't know when this man sleeps. You still made it out to the Y tonight. You got a workout in. Wes was questioning that. That's some banter I can give you. So I posted. I did your thing. I tried to answer like you. And I gave the Zeke answer and the John answer when I did the messages and the questions this weekend. And one of the things was, how many days a week do y'all work out? And so I said, Zeke works out twice. And then Wes laughed. And I said, no, man, he's been trying to do his shoulder rehab at the Y from the skiing accident. For those of you that have been following along, listeners for a long time, Zeke fell down and went boom in January, was it?
Yes.
And your shoulder still hurts. And
it's a lot better.
He was doing physical therapy. So now he's like, you know, I might go work out at the Y a couple days a week. So I was like, no, Wes, check the receipts. He's actually going to the Y. So I'm very proud of Zeke for earning his booze. It's about time you got on the boat. Anything you want to say to the people?
I thought I earned my booze at the Joseph.
Man, you are towing the line this show. So Wes didn't believe you. I set him straight. Tonight, we are drinking Pursuit Spirits. Our friends over at Bourbon Pursuit, they put out a bourbon and a rye. As you know, we are drinking Pursuit United Bourbon. So this whole thing, both releases feature older components. We're not doing the rye tonight, but they now have accompanying batch codes based on fan feedback. Distribution is also expanding into Ohio and New Mexico. These small batch products will be available in limited quantities starting in August with an MSRP of $65. So this is going to confuse you a little bit, Zeke. We are drinking batch 7cc. So what Kenny said was whiskey consumers are more educated than ever. I received countless messages from purchasers asking if the bottles they had were batch 1 or 2. After gathering more feedback from our most loyal fans, we decided to implement a new batch coding system. There's now no mystery. The coding system starts with a number of the month. The following 2 letters are based on the last 2 digits of the year, with A being 0, B being 1, etc. So this release of Pursuit United Bourbon and Pursuit United Rye is 7cc. which represents July 22nd.
Oh, so not in the sense of like certain markets get certain batches that they think are going to cater to that style drinker more than like Booker's has always done or Elijah Craig does. Like it's a mass produced and distributed batch, but it's just more readily identifiable than just the label per se that said Pursuit Series small batch.
Yes, and just like I said, July 22nd, which it was supposed to be July 2022. This is readily identifiable, as you would say. But it is kind of...
I tried to correct.
I mean, I just don't know the ladder system. It's kind of like... You did correct. You did a great job. But, I mean, I don't want to pick a nits here, but 7cc, it's like, you might as well just put 722. You know, like the 2-digit year and the month of the year. Or if you did, like, the letter being, you know...
Well, it goes back to the way barrels are identified, right?
Yeah, but if they did, like, G22, I just think it's a weird thing to put the year as the number, or the year as the letter. But if this is the only thing I'm nitpicking when we drink this bourbon tonight, they did a great job.
I mean, I guess you could also come up with like whatever you were feeling at the time, just like a random, like hit randomizer for 3 letters or something. Like this is the MSP batch.
Well, the only thing I'm thinking is if you do letters, you're going to be limited to 26. So at a certain point,
3 and they're randomly shuffled. I don't.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
Like
it
that,
is,
but that's a lot of options.
I take it all back.
How many ever letters? You know, like
we're talking over each other, but I'm trying to say I'm dumb, and I just realized it's still going to be infinite, and it's okay. It's late. You made me record late tonight, and my brain wasn't firing on all cylinders. But yes, you can do that. I had to
go to the Y.
Yeah, I know you had to go to the Y. Pursuit United Bourbon features a new mash bill in the blend. The types of barrels we used for the first 2 releases of Pursuit United were not available, so we worked with Bardstown Bourbon Company to find a similar product of theirs, Ryan Cecil said. After multiple small-scale blends, I moved forward on a mash bill that has a little more rye. This delivers a little bit more spice and a deeper stone fruit taste. Pursuit United Bourbon had a lower than anticipated yield of 10,794 bottles that will make their way to the market. For those of you wondering, it's going to be in Colorado, Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, New Mexico, Ohio, Tennessee, and Texas, and online at sealbox.com.
So does it say what the different sources or mashes are in this? Because I mean, the earlier ones all disclosed it, right? Because it was like Finger Lakes and a couple other places or something.
So it still says on the bottle it's Kentucky, Tennessee, and New York. So it's still going to be some of their Tullahoma distillate that they got from the folks at BR. It's going to be the Finger Lakes. And then obviously Kentucky, they have stuff coming from Bardstown Bourbon Company. What did you think about this? It is 108 proof, 54% ABV. We know it comes in at $65. Anything you want to add or any questions you have, comments, words of wisdom, Zeke Baker?
You think 108 was cash strength? Is there any mention of that on there? Or is it just, hey, here's what we went with?
No mention. I think it's 108 on the last one. I could be wrong. You're going to make me look this up.
Well, I just feel like marketing wise, they're obviously pretty damn sharp and on the ball, and saying cash strength, regardless of the proof, always in this day and age looks better on a label.
But so it is not, because the rye is 108 proof too. So there's a reason that they like 108 proof.
Okay. I mean, that's what I figured. Like, again, they're great at marketing. If it was cash strength, that would be somewhere on the bottle, I feel like.
100%.
Let's see here. The notes I jotted down on this as I sipped through it a few times. I thought that it opened with sweet corn, followed by a rye spice that gains as it moves toward the back. Even gets a little bit prickly at the very end. Revisiting it a couple more times, I thought it had a really good viscosity, and the sweet that comes in immediately on the front is honestly really nice. But by the mid, the spice really seems to kick up more, and that's what the finish was. So I think it's one of those things to where, you remember what lingers about a product or anything really, any substance. And so the fact that the spice lingered toward the back, to me almost kind of negated how enjoyable the sweet was on the front. But overall, I thought it was, a very enjoyable pour.
I have to say, I think the nose is incredible. The nose is just so sweet, and it's like cookie sweet, like a sugar cookie, just super inviting. I loved the nose. Agree with you on the taste, just in the sense that it switches to the rye from front to back palate. I think the rye really comes through towards the end. What I would say about this one, though, is I really think like there was just something in the first batch. And I know this is now, a later batch, but remember when we had the first one, we're like, there's just something funky with it, and it might be that Finger Lakes. Like, we weren't sure what it was. This was not like that at all. I mean, if we're complaining about a little rye spice getting in our coffee, that's not anything compared to I think the first one that we had and our gripe with that one. This one was a very great pour, and it's one at $65 that I'd be like, listen, it's 108 proof for $65. It's got a little bit of spice on the end. If you dig that spice, you're going to really dig this one. The front of it is super sweet. Like, and I would just want to play with this a little bit, like, put a drop of water in, see if that does anything to the finish. Just, I was super, super impressed with this one. And I think they've gone leaps and bounds. I know Ryan is working hard to be blending all the time. And, yes, we're friendly with them. And yes, this isn't us giving a biased review for that. I just think that they've shown a lot of maturity in this release compared to the other one I had. And that other one won awards, so apparently we were wrong on that compared to how other people taste stuff around the country. And that's okay, right? Every palate's different. There was something that we thought was a little funky with that one. This one, I don't feel that way at all. At all.
Well, then the New York is the wheated component, right?
I think so.
Yeah, man, that's what I kind of remembered. I could be wrong, but in that sense, thinking through things, it would also make sense if, the wheated juice that they have has been sitting in a barrel longer, then hopefully it's more well-rounded. I think that would lend to, where you're picking up the nose being, those accent flavors of, like you said, like, baking and other things, but in a sweet fashion. And then also this product being more well-rounded as opposed to, the first one we had, which I guess was 2 years ago now? I mean, it's really hard to keep up, but I feel like it was.
I would have to go back and look, but it's been a minute, since we had. Now you're making me. Stat Boy is February 19th, 2021 is when we did it. And that was 4 to 5 year old juice at the time. I wonder, because they kind of alluded to it in the press release. It's non-age stated, but I wonder if all the juice got a little bit older, with the exception of that Bardstown stuff. But that Bardstown stuff is good. I think Bardstown has 4 to 5 year old stuff now, but I wonder if that Finger Lakes maybe is more at the 6th level, and it really balanced out that wheat, Yeah,
that was my first thought, was if anything probably needed correcting there, or I guess, more time to mature or whatever, it would have been that component.
But either way, I'd go and get this one. Ryan, Kenny, great job. Proud of y'all. And I'm down for this one for sure. I don't know about you, Zeke.
No, I enjoyed it. And even though we didn't have time to review it, I didn't really find any fallacies with the rye when we went through that as well. We just flipped a coin on which one of these we wanted to review because we didn't have time to do both. So obviously feel free to check out both if that's your fancy.
And go ahead and find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, the Joseph Hotel, or find us on Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. You can find us also here in
good old Nashville, Tennessee.
Cheers.
Ciao.